All right, it's that time of year again. CES 2026 is kicking off in Vegas, and you know what that means, right? Your social media feeds are about to get absolutely flooded with a storm of new tech and gadgets. And yeah, every single year, it's kind of the same story. You see these wild, bizarre prototypes. You hear these huge, sweeping promises from CEOs. And oh boy, the buzzwords. There's a whole new dictionary of them every January. It can be, well, it's a lot to take in. So the big question is, what actually matters? Because here's the thing. What starts out as just some flashy demo on a stage in Vegas often ends up setting the entire tone for tech for the rest of the year. You'd be surprised how quickly this stuff ends up on store shelves. And that's exactly why we're here. We're going to cut through all that noise, all that hype, and focus on the 7 real trends that are actually going to define the tech you'll be using this year. So let's dive right in. All right, so first up, hype versus reality. Make no mistake, what happens at CES really does set the tech story for the next 12 months. And the biggest story? No surprise, it's AI. So let's talk about our first 2 trends, which are all about how AI is finally getting to work. And trend number 1 is a really fundamental shift in what we even use AI for. It's not just about chatting with a bot anymore. Now it's about having an assistant that can actually take action for you. Okay, and get ready because you're going to start hearing this term everywhere. Agentic AI. It sounds kind of jargony, but all it really means is an AI that doesn't just give you an answer. It's an AI that can help you plan things out and then actually do them. We're talking about completing tasks with multiple steps. And this chart really breaks down that shift perfectly. On the left, you've got the old AI. Asking a question, getting an answer. But look at the right side. The new AI is all about doing. Summarizing a meeting, sorting your photos. Here's a perfect example. The old way is asking, hey, what's on my calendar? The new way is saying, hey, find a 30-minute slot to meet with Sarah sometime this week, book it, and send us both a video link. See the difference? It's all about action. So what's powering all this? Well, that brings us to trend number 2, the quote-unquote AI PC. You're going to see this branding everywhere. Basically, these are new laptops and desktops that have special, dedicated chips inside. They're called NPUs, and they're built specifically to run AI stuff. And the big promise here is that by running all these complex tasks right on your own device, everything's going to be faster, way more private, and it won't kill your battery. But let's be real, is an AI PC actually worth shelling out your money for? Well, here's a little reality check for you. A simple 3-question test. Just ask yourself, 1. Does this new feature actually save me time, like on a weekly basis? 2. Does it work when I don't have internet? And 3, and this is a big one, does it keep my sensitive work on my machine instead of shipping it off to the cloud? If you can answer yes to all 3, then you've probably found something that's genuinely useful. All right, moving on, let's talk about where we actually see all this tech, our screens. Our next couple of trends are all about how displays, from the tiny ones in smart glasses to the giant ones in your living room, are getting way, way smarter. So, trend number 3. And I know what you're thinking. Yes, smart glasses are back. Again. But you know what? This year actually feels a little different. The tech that goes into them, the tiny little displays, the sensors, the chips, it feels like it's finally mature enough to actually be useful. And that's why they're a huge theme at CES this year. But with any of these smart glasses, you've got to ask yourself one simple question, and it's the only one that really matters. Is this thing solving a real problem for me? Like giving me directions while I'm walking or translating a menu in real time? Or is it just going to blast notification spam directly into my face? For this trend to finally stick, utility has to win out over novelty, period. Okay, trend number 4 takes us to the biggest screens in our lives, our TVs. CES is pretty much the annual battleground for the TV display arms race, and this year is absolutely no exception. Every single company is out there fighting to deliver the brightest, most colorful, highest performance TV you've ever seen. So if you happen to be shopping for a new TV this year, here's my advice. Ignore all the crazy marketing slogans and the fancy buzzwords. Just focus on 3 things you can actually see with your own eyes. 1, how bright does it get, especially if you have a sunny room? 2, how well does it handle reflections? Can you still see the screen? And 3, what's its real HDR performance like? Can it show those super bright highlights and those really deep, dark shadows in the same scene without everything looking washed out? That's what actually matters. Okay, so we've covered AI and screens. Now let's talk about how tech is weaving itself more deeply and hopefully more usefully into our personal lives. Our next two trends are all about our health and our homes. So, trend number 5 is that wearables are finally going way beyond just counting your steps. We're seeing devices like smart rings and more advanced watches that are focusing on much deeper health metrics. Things like your sleep quality, how recovered you are each day, and your stress levels. And the real key here isn't about some single score you get in the morning. The real insight comes from tracking the patterns over weeks and months. And trend number 6 is all about the home. The smart home is, well, it's finally getting a bit smarter by actually focusing on automation that helps. If you want a system that doesn't just drive you crazy, the key is simplicity. Seriously, try to stick with fewer brands, look for open standards like Matter so everything can actually talk to each other, and focus on building automations that genuinely save you a little bit of effort every single day. All right, our 7th and final trend. It's a big one, robots. This year at CES, robotics feels like it's finally growing up. It's moving beyond just those flashy demos on a stage and really starting to focus on practical, real-world uses for AI in the physical world. Now look, it is so easy to get wowed by the stuff on the left. You know, the impressive humanoid robots doing backflips on a stage. It's cool. But the real story, the thing you need to pay attention to, is what's happening on the right, the actual practical deployments. The big wins in robotics right now are happening quietly, behind the scenes, in places like warehouses, factories, and in logistics and cleaning. That's where robots are making a massive impact today. Okay, so that's a whirlwind tour of CES 2026. Let's do a quick, no-nonsense recap of the 7 key takeaways you should be watching this year. All right, here we go. 1. AI is moving from chat to do. 2. PCs are getting a real AI upgrade cycle. 3. Smart glasses, they have to solve a real problem or they're toast. 4. When it comes to TVs, judge them by their actual performance, not the buzzwords. 5. Wearables are all about tracking patterns over time. 6. For the smart home, it's all about automation that actually helps. And 7. With robots, practical deployment is beating flashy demos every time. And there you have it, your no-nonsense guide to what really matters at CES 2026. But now I've got a question for you. Out of these 7 trends we just went through, which one do you want me to do a deep dive on next? I'm talking a whole dedicated explainer with real examples straight from the show floor. Let me know what you think.